Do you own a service business? If so, you may want to pay attention. Do you remember why you started that business in the first place? All the time and financial freedom you were going to have with your family and friends? Then you ended up wearing so many different hats in your business, and the thought around growing the business means more time at work, less time with family and friends, and more headaches with employees. If that's you, we have the solution. It's a simple formula that works, and it starts with structuring your business in a simple way that makes everything else easier. Finding and hiring the right people that actually help you grow the business, and helping you implement the key things to make your whole team more efficient and effective. This is the Pivot Ready Business System by BergFlow. We've helped hundreds of small service businesses grow and become highly successful. Elevate your opportunities, profits, and time freedom. Visit www.bergflow.com/podcast to claim your free video to learn more. You're just minutes away from learning how to transform your service business and your life. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Under Pressure podcast. My name is John McDaniel. Hey, we're going to be talking about all things business and under pressure. Coming back, always exciting coming back off of some training that BergFlow did this last week over in the DFW area. It was a really great training called Pivot Point. Just fantastic. Got nothing but leaders and CEOs in a room together where they get to bounce their ideas. And we had very specific curriculum, but a lot of breakouts and a lot of exciting communication taking place between business owners. And these are businesses anywhere from power washing, window washing, maid service, electricians, you name it. There's just a wide variety of people coming together in collaboration to learn, grow, and expand their minds and their ideas and their visions for their companies, and what they're doing and why they're doing it, who they are as a company, who their employees are, who are their teams, where do they get them? How do they get more of the talent? All these things that we really focused on and tried to unlock and help them unlock through that training. So it was just phenomenal training. And I'll tell everyone out there listening, like, I really hope that you as a business owner, if you're listening to this, you own a business, whatever that business is, that you are taking time for yourself throughout the year, not just once a year, throughout the year, to recharge your batteries, to go and get some good information, to re-inspire you, to help you push your company and the vision of your company forward, right? And if you're not doing those things, if you're not being coached, if you don't have accountability, if you're not moving the needle in yourself, like where you're gaining ground personally, where you're learning and growing, then you're going to stall. Your company's going to stall because your business is going to be a reflection of you. And if you're those leaders in those companies, if you're a team member at all in a business and you're listening to this, you should be looking for opportunities to do that as well. Ask your boss, can they send you to a training? Look for trainings. Ask about coaching. Maybe for yourself, if you're really trying to unlock an opportunity, if you see it within the company that you're working for and you really want to unlock opportunity for yourself because you know it's there, then maybe you just invest in yourself. And I know you can say, well, I don't make a lot of money. They make all the money. They own the business. So I can't really afford that. Can you not? Can you save a little bit? Can you invest in yourself? Go to some trainings, go to something that's going to really inspire you to move forward. And obviously, like, ask your bosses, talk to them. What opportunities are they providing for you to move up, to move forward? Are there opportunities in the company? And if there are, and that's your desire, then go for it. If not, you probably need to find a place that will provide you opportunities. Otherwise, you're going to be doing the same thing you were doing um, until you're not, right? Like, look for opportunities. And if you're a leader, you should be looking for ways that you can provide opportunities for those that are motivated and really wanting an opportunity. It's only going to help your business. So yeah, today I want to, and that's leading into where we're going with this. So trainings, coaching, mentorship, being around other like-minded people, all of these things that we're talking about here, there's this value that is unattainable without it. There's this value with growing and learning and achieving, and it's specifically surrounding like leadership. How many listening out here listen to this? How many actually believe they know it all? That you know everything there is to know, that you can't learn anything else? Now, it's actually not that rhetorical. I feel like there may be someone out there, there may be some people out there that will say, yeah, I know it all. And that means you really need to go learn something, because that's not true. I don't know it all. You don't know it all. There's no one in business. There's no one in life that knows it all. And we all know what we know, right? And we can pass our knowledge along. And we may be experts in one area and not in others. That's usually how it works. Or maybe we're one of those people that we have knowledge over a broad spectrum of stuff, but we're not really an expert in anything. Well, that's okay too. That's why you can go and hire experts, or you can go and get information from experts to teach you more about what you don't understand. So I feel like leadership is one of those that clearly can be in that avenue. Like, leaders are developed. Leaders over time and pressure and all these things can be forged, right? So just like a sword or any kind of piece of metal, you think about that forging process can take place and really create a great leader. But there's also stuff along the way that's a part of that forging. It's not just the pressure of what you're doing and while learn as I go. And why not be able to go out and learn from some of those who know it already? Seems smart to me. If you already know it and I need to know it, or it could improve me and have the chance to propel me forward without me having to go through 2 or 3 years of this experience, I'm going to get the experience anyway, right? But if I can get a step ahead or 2 steps ahead by going and learning from someone who knows that already and can teach me, that's kind of a no-brainer. And I know there's people out there who are like, oh, but then you miss the process. That's fine. I'm fine with that. If I'm running and operating a business, I'm fine with that. It's one thing if I'm trying to do this like self-fulfillment realization, like deep dive into, this personal, I don't know, some kind of achievement. I'm going to go climb up this mountain and experience that for myself. Okay. I'm not going to go and just ask someone to tell me about it and then be like, that's good. No, that's an experience, right? That's something totally different. But if I can save myself headache, even on something like that, I'm still going to experience that journey. But if I go and talk to somebody that's done it and they're like, hey man, I would suggest you wear some really good hiking boots or you're going to be really miserable. Am I still going to take the journey? Yep. Am I still going to experience everything along the way? Yep. You know what I don't want to experience? Pain. Not on that level. It's going to be painful. It may be painful. There's lots of things that could cause pain along the journey, and you learn from that. But if I can learn that I can make my feet a little more comfortable by getting a very specific type of boot or shoe that help you guys understand what I'm saying. Okay. That's just common sense. That's smart business. Okay. So that's also like part of being a leader, right? Growing ourselves so we can grow others, so we can lead others. Effective leaders take on a personal interest, right, in the long-term development of their employees. Okay. And they use tact and other social skills to encourage employees to achieve their best. It isn't about being like nice or understood. Okay. You got to kind of tap into like individual motivations and help motivate people, right? Leadership is forging ahead and recognizing when you need help. It's forging ahead, leading the way, but sometimes that also means like we have to lead from the back, right? So leadership is it can be a very tricky thing. You begin to think about things like you know nothing about. And, I hear a lot of people say, well, if, you're either a leader naturally or you're not. Well, that's not true. I do think there are qualities and traits that are inherent in people that may make them develop as a leader more quickly. In some cases, but there are also some of those same traits that could turn and cause someone who potentially could be in a leadership role that become toxic, right? So one of the things about leadership, do you think there's room for ego in leadership? It's a question like maybe answer yourself real quick. Is there room for ego in leadership? I do think there is. I think in business, there's room for ego, but there's a specific type that we're referring to. Ego when it comes to confidence, right? Ego has this negative connotation. It's not always meant that way because there is a part of your ego that it can build confidence, and it's good to be confident if you're leading, confident in what you're doing, confident in where you're going, confident in where you're taking others, right? So there is room for a little ego there. But recognizing that balance, right? We've got to be able to, you as a leader, whatever role you're in, whether it's the CEO, owner, which can be both, or you're a manager, you're a divisional leader, you're a crew leader, whatever leadership role you have, if you allow your ego to push it to this unhealthy level where people are going to do what I say because I tell them to do it and I'm the boss. Well, that's the wrong kind of attitude, right? That's a different kind of ego. That is negative. Now, it doesn't mean that it's not true to some degree, but how do you really think you're going to motivate people if you take that attitude, if you take on that ego type? And some of you may be saying, well, facts are facts. They're going to do what I tell them. I'll find someone else. Do you know how much money it costs to constantly be changing out employees? Do you know how much it costs the company to constantly be changing out employees? Retraining, rehire, retrain, rehire. It's a lot of money, more than you would believe, because there's also stuff on the back end. Okay? A bad hire can cost a business so much money. And I say a bad hire, but also, like if you've got someone in a toxic leadership role and they're creating problems because their ego's in the way, that is the same. It's the same. If you're losing people because of somebody like that, then that's a huge issue. You're gonna be losing a lot of money over that. So I think leadership is something you really have to train yourself into, and swallow your pride once in a while, and even to some degree lead from the back. I know people always say you got to lead from the front. Well, there are things that I have strengths. There are things I'm good at, right? And if I own a business, let's say let's just randomly say a carpet cleaning business. There are certain things I might be good at in business, and I may be a great carpet cleaner. If I started the business and I'm doing this, but there may be certain things that I'm really terrible at and I don't even like to do. For example, I don't know, the operation side of things like systems, processes, building that, putting that in place. Maybe I'm just not tech savvy, whatever those things are. And I may have zero desire to learn that. So if I own the company and I can hire someone to come in and do that job who's really, really good at it, even though I'm not good at it and I don't like it, I can't actually lead them from the front in that role, right? Because I can't go in and lead, do this, do that, do this, do that, because I'm doing it. I'm back here and I'm saying, hey, these are your KPIs. These are the things in business. This is your role, and these are the things we expect. And these are the goals we're all trying to reach. Are you doing that? Great. If not, how can I help you do that? What can I provide you? What tools can I provide you with so that your job is easier, better, more successful? I don't have to know it. I can still lead them and give them the things they need to do their job successfully, right? So, leadership isn't necessarily always about this power struggle and who's in charge and all this. It's really sometimes it's like taking people where they don't even realize they want to go. Providing opportunity, providing motivation, and doing the difficult things. Like sometimes you may not feel like being very motivated, just like everyone else on the planet. Maybe those are the days where you let someone else motivate a little bit, and you take a step back, and that's a part of leadership too, recognizing when we need to step aside, right? Get out of the way and let someone go full charge. And that's something that people will pick up on as you are able to shift and move in those ways. People are going to pick up on those instances and say, man, I can't believe they just let me do that. That's awesome. That's trust. That's also a part of leadership, right? Like trust. And then what about when people make mistakes? Leadership could also mean, what are we doing to help them in that moment? Or are we chastising them in an extreme way? Are you really coming down on them? Are you threatening them? Are you, or how many mistakes have you made? And yes, there doesn't mean you just ignore it, but maybe you look at it from a different way and you say, okay, I get it. A mistake was made. Let's learn from that. Sucks you made that mistake, but I've made mistakes. Let's not repeat this. Let's remember it. Let's learn from it. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down, debrief it a little bit. And they're probably not going to forget that mistake, right? Now, if you come at them sideways and it's just everybody's mad, and then they're going to be resentful and you're going to be ticked off. I mean, that's not really leadership. That's just someone pushing their ego around. Doesn't mean you might not get mad or get angry about the situation, but that could be where you're going to have to go and take a break and let yourself, you know, diffuse a little bit from that and then readdress it, right? Or come back to it. Or maybe even get all that out of your system first and then have a conversation around it. So leading with that care and that candor, both, where you can have, like, you genuinely care about these people. And most people can tell, like, whether or not you really care, if they're moving the ball forward, if their family's good, if they're in the right mindset, if you're doing what you can do to make them a better person, which is what you should be doing as a leader. Make them better and provide them with those opportunities. So if we're talking about teams, and teams are what's going to drive your company. And when you get the right people in the right place with the right motivation, and then you have a great leader in position, which may be that person as well as the people beneath them. When you get that combination, your company's going to explode. Your business is going to grow, right? When you begin to unlock opportunities for yourself as well as those that you're leading, it's a game changer. Too many times, and oftentimes, leaders, all they want to do is focus on the mission of the company or themselves or both, but you're leaving a crucial part behind. Remember who said it, but if someone's leading people and they turn around and no one's following, they're just going for a walk, right? So if you're something like that, it's probably a little bit different. But if you're finding yourself going on a walk because no one wants to follow you, then you need to check your ego. You need to see what's going on. Have you kind of gotten lost in the role, and all you're doing is handing out tasks, but there's no opportunity and there's no vision and there's no goals, and even if there are some of those things, you can't seem to motivate people, then you probably need to do an internal check. Is there something you can do to change that? What way can you, as a leader and maybe as the company, the business, invest into your people and your teams? That's total, will reshape your business if you can invest in your people. And there's a model that we will show in a lot of our trainings. And if you can picture it, you've got you, and then kind of beside it is your business. So the same size, you and your business. This is what they look like. And then, or you and your life. And then they're the same size bubbles. And then we all want like this bigger life, right? So you can picture above your life is another much larger bubble. And we want to go from where we are to this larger bubble, like just straight line, diagonal, going straight there. The problem is that's not really how that works, right? If you can, what you really have to do, it's not a diagonal line straight to it. Because if you, as you are, could go there, you would have already done it. So, but if you elevate yourself, if you learn and grow and uh, train and get coached and do all these things, you can take yourself to that next level, and then your life comes along with it, right? It's the same thing in business. Your team, your business. You can't take your current team diagonal to this bigger business. You have to grow and lead your team and provide them opportunity and invest in them so that they grow and expand. And then you can go directly to that bigger business. So you've got to expand your teams. And I don't mean just by like personnel, that may have to happen as well. But leadership also means providing that opportunity to learn and grow and that good culture within your company that makes people want to be a part of it. We have to, as leaders, have to realize that we're not always going to be right, and also admitting when we're not right, when we need help with something, being able to rely and trust. And I said earlier, like trust is a big part of it. Being able to rely and trust on those around us to help us when those things arise. So a lot of it has to do with relationships and your interaction with people. So dive into and go and ask like people that know you, people that are going to be honest with you. Ask them what they think about your leadership. If you're a leader in a particular role, ask them what they think about it and tell them to be open and honest with you. Ask them to be that you're really trying to do a deep dive into it and provide them that space and opportunity to be honest and see what you're told. And then maybe you can do it with some of the people you're leading, right? Find out and be open to those suggestions, and you're going to know a little bit about who's telling you what, and if to some degree, some of those people that may be telling you like you suck or whatever, I mean, you're going to know if are they good employees? Are they working hard? Do they work hard? What are they doing to move the needle? What actions are they taking? And if they seem like they're people of integrity and someone you can trust, and they're telling you something, pay attention to it. Learn from it, grow from it. Thank them for their advice or their information. Leadership is so much more than just a position. There are leaders among so many businesses that are not in the role. The role may be someone who just simply walks in a room and barks commands and leaves. And the real leaders are going to be the ones that step up and motivate those people around them to do that, right? They're going to be the ones that are kind of just sitting there waiting in the wings, but they know something has to happen. They feel it and they see it, and they can sense when people are tense and they're unhappy, and they can shift the mood in a room. They can create something great out of a bad moment and push people, right? So if you're ever questioning who that person is, if you have teams and you want to know, try it sometime. Go in and you do your normal thing. Like, hey, here's what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. And then, I don't know, hide around the corner, pay attention, listen, Have someone new that's coming in, have them feed you information about what's taking place after that. Who's the person that's stepping up and like motivating the team? Is anyone doing that? And if they are, those are the people you need to realize, like, those are your leaders. And if they're having to do that, not that it's a bad thing, but why are they having to do it and you're not? How did they do it? So recognize your own weaknesses and areas that you can improve. Go to trainings, send your teams to trainings, build your teams up. Don't put yourselves in a box as a team, because your team, your people are that's what's going to move your company to the next level, where you can 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x the people you have that you're leading and your leaders. The more you invest in them, the more you invest in yourself, the bigger business and bigger life you're going to get. And the more people want to come along. People, I'm hearing them constantly all the time. I can't find people, no one can hire anybody. I can't find good talent. When I get someone in, they leave. Why do you think they're leaving? And I hear the same answer. Well, it's money. Somebody offered more money. It's not always the case, guys. Money isn't always the motivator. So you need to figure out, maybe it is money. Maybe that's all they're motivated by. That's all. You're going to find people like that. There's nothing you can do about it. But if you can unlock opportunity for people and lead them in a way that's appealing, that they feel like they're a part of something, that's the magic. That's when someone comes up and says, hey man, I'll give you $2 more an hour. And they're like, nah, I work for, like, people I work for are amazing. And I've got opportunity coming. So I'm good. That's what you want. And it's a culture, right? Look for those toxic people and pay attention to your work culture. That's a part of leadership also, recognizing what culture you have, setting values. What are the values of your company? What are your values? Do they align? What about your teams? And what is the culture? Is it toxic? Are people negative? Are they, constantly bickering? They're not doing the work. Pay attention. And then it doesn't have to be this. I mean, there may be times where you have to come in and clean house just because it is so toxic. But maybe use a little care and candor mixture, and you might be able to fix some of that and just find out who the root causes are of that toxicity. And maybe it's you. A little recognition. All this to say, leadership within your company is going to be so vital, so important to the growth of your company, the expansion of your company, the attitude of your people, the buy-in, right? You want employees that are bought into your vision and your company, your mission. And if you're not a good leader, if you don't have those skills, you need to go get those skills. If you need accountability, you need to find someone to keep you accountable. Hire a coach, find a friend, someone who is like-minded, who's thinking the same way, right? Or at least thinking expanded. Great leaders. And that's what's going to move your ball forward in your company. It's not the systems and the processes and the structure and all these things are great, but you can have all the greatest things like that, all the best systems, all the best processes. And if you don't have good teams, good people, good leaders, it's not going to work. If you have those great things and your systems and processes suck, you're probably still going to be successful, more successful than the other. Let's go out and let's be phenomenal leaders. Work on yourself as a leader. And maybe you want to be in that leadership role. Prove it. Start leading. You may not get paid for it, but start leading. Show people that you can be that person. All right. I want to thank you guys for listening today on this topic of leadership and teams and people. I hope you can take it, just some kind of nugget from it. I'm not the only one that's ever spoken about this. There's plenty out there, but I just really was motivated to speak about it after coming back from this training. And I hope there's something in here that you can grasp, that you can take a hold of, maybe a little aha moment for you. So take what you can. Hey, if you guys don't like, subscribe, share. We have a Facebook page. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. Go on, share it, like it, click all that stuff and comment. Whatever platform you're watching this on or listen to it on, if you get the opportunity, comment, let me know something, right? It's always good to hear a little bit of feedback once in a while. So, and that ends our show. Thank you all so much for listening. This is Under Pressure Podcast, where we're talking about all things business and under pressure. Have a great day. And under pressure. Have a great day.